It looks to me, ladies and gentlemen, the audience of Joe the Lawyer, that Alec Baldwin is screwed. Okay, but perhaps not as badly as you may think. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Joe the Lawyer. I'm your host, Joe Pometto, a practicing criminal defense, injury, and family law attorney in Pittsburgh, PA. On this channel, I break down legal news, legal concepts, and legal life. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It's a free way to support the show. I know my voice is a little hoarse this morning. I went to the Pitt versus Clemson football game yesterday, and Pitt won. Hail to Kenny Pickett. Okay, this article from the New York Post. Legal experts, don't block me. Legal experts weigh in on Alec Baldwin's possible liability in tragic on-set shooting of Helena Hutchins. Now, I'm sure most of you already know from the widespread media coverage that Alec Baldwin was shooting a movie. It looks like a Western movie called Rust. And he had a prop gun, which I believe was a real gun. And I've heard experts weigh in and say it was likely a revolver. And it was supposed to be shooting blanks. He pointed it. It was pointing at a person on the set. Boom, shot and killed this poor woman, Helena Hutchins. Let's run through this article. The tragedy on the Santa Fe, New Mexico set of Alec Baldwin's Rust could have serious legal consequences for Alec Baldwin, who fired a prop gun Thursday that accidentally killed the film's director of photography, Helena Hutchins, 42, legal experts told the Post Saturday. Very young, very sad. The repercussions for Baldwin, the film's executive producer, and that could have meaning, could even include negligent manslaughter charges, according to Joseph Costa, an attorney with Costa Law in Los Angeles. And here's how Costa puts it. As an executive producer, you are in a position of control. So that position is going to impact the criminality of this case. And you can get prosecuted criminally, he said. It's the equivalent of drinking and driving, meaning someone may not have intended to cause great harm, but they do. New Mexico criminal attorney Erlinda Johnson, a former state and federal prosecutor, said the actor could face possible criminal liability for involuntary manslaughter. And I believe that is how he would be prosecuted in Pennsylvania. We'll take a look at the involuntary manslaughter statute in Pennsylvania at the end of this article. Here we see a photo of Alec Baldwin, a little bit of blood there on him. He gets shot in the movie, looking a bit like a cowboy. I don't know if he makes the greatest cowboy, but he pulls it off. All the state needs to demonstrate is that he was engaged in a lawful but dangerous act and did not act with due caution. That's not a terribly difficult burden to reach. That's what the state has to prove for involuntary manslaughter, which is a fourth-degree felony with a maximum penalty of up to 18 months in prison. There's Helena Hutchins, who was killed in the tragedy. She speculated that Baldwin may rely on the defense that someone handed him the gun, but then, well, it was incumbent upon him, since he was handling the gun, to make sure there were no rounds. Johnson continued, clearly someone didn't do their due diligence. They should have been checking those guns to make sure there were no live rounds. Another Southern California lawyer said no one involved with the film is safe when it comes to getting slapped with a civil complaint. Everyone will be sued, LA defense attorney Denise Bodhan told the Post. Anyone running that set will be sued, especially when they find out who specifically was cutting corners on the set. And I agree with that. Here is Mr. Baldwin making a phone call on the set. Yes, Alec Baldwin was the main producer, but it might be found out that another producer did more to cut corners. I don't think there will be anything as bad as a murder charge, but this is going to be a legal nightmare for Baldwin. The facts have yet to come out as to potential criminal charges. They will look to his possible negligence, said another criminal attorney in LA. His problems don't lie in what he did as an actor. It will certainly come out that he thought he was firing a blank, and I believe that's already been established through affidavits that were submitted to the police. His problems don't lie in what he did as an actor. The real issue is his role as a producer and the safety protocols or lack thereof on the set. If real negligence is proven, that could result in criminal charges. So it's sort of like a double whammy for Mr. Baldwin here. Even if he was just the actor who fired the gun, I believe he would be looking at potential criminal liability. But the fact that he was also the producer, therefore had control, a higher degree of responsibility for how things ran on the set, guarantees, to me, it guarantees charges will be brought against him. But veteran New York City criminal defense attorney Ron Kuby said he doesn't believe Baldwin has criminal exposure under New Mexico law, though he certainly has civil exposure as the producer and employer on the TV set. Very interesting movie set. Another picture of Alec the cowboy. The other thing that's troubling is that the union members left the set and scabs were brought in to take over. Obviously, they failed to follow safety protocols to the extent that Baldwin authorized the employment of incompetent scab labor. He faces serious liability. Kuby continued, Baldwin had no reason to believe he was engaging in dangerous activity. Well, that's an interesting take. Number one, I will tell you, I don't know New Mexico law. So this attorney may be right. And, I'm just here to share an opinion, a speculative opinion, but an opinion. Number two, it was reported that there were prior safety issues involving firearms that caused some of the people on the set to walk out just days before this incident occurred. And then they bring in these new employees who they say here Baldwin could face civil liability, possible criminal liability as well, for bringing in these new employees who perhaps did not know what they were doing. Okay? The big issue here is, what is the definition of a dangerous activity? Kuby says here, Baldwin had no reason to believe he was engaging in dangerous activity. So is the firing of a prop gun on a set considered a dangerous activity? That, in fact, could be the determining factor in the case. Was it a dangerous activity that he was engaging in? Now, the argument that it was not would say, well, probably this is done every day in movie sets all over the world where prop guns are fired in a safe, an inherently safe manner, and incidents never occur. Okay, but we're looking at a 1 in a million. And I know perhaps some of you know or don't know that Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee was killed in a similar manner with a misfire of a gun that occurred on the set of a movie. And I wonder, I'm just kind of brainstorming here as we go. I wonder if criminal charges were ever filed against the person that shot Brandon Lee. Lee had the head role in The Crow. According to producer Jeff Most, had good insight. Let's see if we can find here exactly what happened. He was accidentally wounded on set by defective blanks and later died in hospital during surgery. Was the shooter of Brandon Lee criminally prosecuted? This will give us some insight. No charges filed in actor's death during filming. This is, an old one. The filming, but reviewing state laws that held corporations criminally liable. Very interesting. There's a part of me that wants to file charges and have a trial. Mr. Spivey said, who was the district attorney, but from a purely legal point of view, I would not feel comfortable with the circumstances as I know them to be charging Crow Vision with negligent homicide. Very interesting. So, something like this happened before in the past and charges were not filed. And let's take a look here at actor Bruce Lee. I can't remember exactly how he passed away, but I thought that it was in a similar manner to his son. There was no visible... Lee died at the age on July 30th. The autopsy. Okay. Death by misadventure. Okay. So Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee's father, died in a different manner. So I think that gives us some insight into what could happen with the Alec Baldwin case. Let's look at involuntary manslaughter in Pennsylvania. General rule: a person is guilty of involuntary manslaughter when, as a direct result of the doing of an unlawful act in a reckless or grossly negligent manner, or the doing of a lawful act in a reckless or grossly negligent manner, he causes the death of another person. The key issue here is lawful act in a reckless or grossly negligent manner. Now, involuntary manslaughter in Pennsylvania doesn't require that the person be engaged in a dangerous activity. Here, the person can be doing a lawful act, but if he does it in a reckless or grossly negligent manner and causes a death, they can be convicted of involuntary manslaughter. So my opinion is, if this occurred, Alec Baldwin shooting in Pennsylvania, he would be charged under this statute and could face criminal liability. He'll definitely face civil liability. Maybe we can take a look at the New Mexico involuntary manslaughter statute. And if that's really what's going to be important here. Manslaughter is the unlawful killing of a human being without malice. And down here, B, involuntary manslaughter consists of manslaughter committed in the commission of an unlawful act not amounting to felony, or in the commission of a lawful act which might produce death in an unlawful manner or without due caution and circumspection. So, you know what? I'm gonna stick to what I said at the beginning. I believe that Mr. Baldwin will face criminal charges under this statute right here. It's a lawful act that was done without due caution and circumspection. The commission of a lawful act must produce death in an unlawful manner. So whoever it's a 4th degree felony. I'm going to double down. I'm going to say that he is going to be prosecuted. Now, if we run back to what I talked about, I said it's not as bad as you think. And, you know, the key to that was right here in the article itself, 18 months in prison. I've put clients in, so for example, people who are DUI, cause an accident, kill somebody. I've pled clients to involuntary manslaughter and seen them just do house arrest. If Alec Baldwin doesn't have a significant criminal record, he may just do 12 months house arrest, 8 months house arrest. Though he may also get a combined prison, jail / house arrest sentence. 6 months jail, 12 months house arrest, something along those lines, or house arrest pending jail. And if he does the house arrest in a lawful and good manner, he may never actually go to jail. However, I do believe he's facing criminal prosecution, criminal conviction, and of course, a massive monetary lawsuit. So thank you for tuning in to Joe the Lawyer. I hope you enjoyed my analysis. I'm making a prediction here. My prediction is he will face criminal charges. Okay, I do believe he will be convicted of them, or he will enter a guilty plea or some sort of diversionary program, and he'll either get house arrest and maybe a little bit of jail time. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. The other thing to say as well is this could cause the entire movie industry to change their tactics, their methods when they are shooting films with firearms. I don't know if it'll change the quality of films, but it's definitely going to change. I mean, come on. In most movies, we can't tell if they're holding a fake gun or a real gun. Why not make a fake gun that is completely safe? They have billions of dollars to spend. They could never possibly shoot a live round. It is ridiculous and absurd that something like this happens in this day and age. I think Baldwin has it coming to him because he was the producer and he was the individual here. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Thank you for tuning into Joe the Lawyer. All right, everybody. I know I didn't do a same time sip, but you can have a sip of coffee with me right now. Cheers.